Hello?
Wait. Annoying people. There's something to tell you later. You have to remind me.
Okay.
I don't know. It's awkward that the camera's like looking at me. Okay. The Wi-Fi's not working. Hello. Oh yeah, it's working.
Okay. So look at me. You don't have to look at the camera.
Okay.
So, tell me. You have to speak as loud as possible because this camera.
Okay.
Okay. So,
The echo is pretty good here, so I'm good.
yeah. So,
Oh, by the way, go to the De-Stress Fest. I put up that poster, so.
okay.
Sorry.
So, what's your name?
My name's Valerie.
No, wait. I'm gonna cut out my voice. I'm only gonna put in your voice. So I'm gonna say the question and then like maybe wait like a 2 seconds and then like say it. So like, can you tell me your name, like where you're from, and like what school you went to?
So my name's Valerie. I came from Hong Kong, and I went to private high school. Yeah, the name is like St. Paul's Convent School, in case you don't know. So yeah, it's like a Catholic school. Yeah.
One more time. Wait, okay, just say I made a mistake. Just say your name and like where you're from, and then just say, oh, I went to like a private school, like something like that.
Okay. So hi, my name is Valerie. I came from Hong Kong, and I went to a private Catholic high school. So yeah.
Okay. Can you tell me about your high school experience?
It wasn't, well, it was fun, but it wasn't fun, if that makes sense. Because like the education system back there, it's like a group of people that stay in the same classroom from 8 to 3, so you don't move around. So you get to get really close with your fellow classmates, if you're lucky. So I got really close with my classmates, but the bad thing was it was really like a very hectic system as well. The curriculum was crazy. Like it was pretty demanding, especially for me, like, not smart. So yeah, it was pretty depressing, I would say, and demanding, but it was happy as well because like you get really close with your fellow classmates. So yeah, it's bittersweet, I would say.
How was the like studying whole thing like? How stressful was it?
I would say because my school is a pretty prestigious school, you could say. I got in because of pure luck. So the teachers were pretty demanding. Like they're expecting more than like if you weren't in that school type of level. And then they would often pressure you like, oh, if you don't get a certain grade in all your like exams, you would like not be able to get into a university or something like that. Like they would tell you every day like you have to do this, that, or else you won't be able to get into university. So it was stressful, and it was pretty like it wasn't that fun. Yeah, honestly, studying it was because like the way they taught wasn't really the way I learned, and I wasn't working as hard as well. So like as it combined, it wasn't a really happy life when it comes to my academics. So yeah.
Do you think the education system there helped you with your creative thinking, or did it create a lot more competition and stuff?
I think it didn't really encourage creative thinking because what I learned a lot is exam skills. Like, of course, knowledge is important. Like, you have to know, like, the formulas for math in order to do math, right? But then there's a lot of times where a teacher would use a lot of time to, like, tell you, oh, how to, like, break down the question, how to find the keywords, instead of, like more focus on, like, learn this and learn that. So I would say it doesn't encourage creative thinking that much, but it does really strengthen your exam skills a lot, which is pretty evident since I came to the US. It's been helping me a lot. I'll be straight up. But yeah, it's okay. It's very different from the education system here, I would say. Yeah, it's like kind of the total opposite. So
How do you think the education system there, or like the whole study craze, like shape you?
I think it mainly shaped me to aim for more than what people would, because like as I said, like everyone's telling you, oh, you have to get that certain grade or that certain score in order to get into university. So it kind of like made me want to achieve more, make me more competitive, I would say. So like people here, they're not as competitive, or sometimes it's like kind of laid back sometimes, but I would aim for a better grade. For example, I have some friends that like they're local students, and then they'll be like, oh, you got a 80, that's good. And I'm like, but it's over 100. So like when they look at it like the average. For example, the class average was a 60, so then they're like, oh, 80 is so good. But when I look at it, I'll be like, the full mark is 100 and 80 is not good. So it's kind of like an Asian thinking, I guess like a typical Asian thinking. But I think it indeed made me want to achieve more than I could. So yeah.
Do you think that made you more competitive, like more, like kind of but be harsh on yourself?
It indeed made me more competitive, that's for sure, because like it's more laid back here, so it made me feel like I could really like achieve more, since I couldn't really achieve back in high school. So it kind of made me more competitive for sure. But what's the second question again? Sorry.
I forgot.
Is it competitive and
It made you be harsh on yourself.
oh, harsh on myself? Well, I don't think so. People around me think so. There's a lot of times people are like, just don't give so much like effort. It's like a small tiny paper. But I'm like, I don't want to. Like if I could do better, I want to do better. Well, of course, there are times where I slack. That's you can't be like so tense all the time, right? So there are times where I slack, but most of the times I try to achieve more than I can, and I try to work harder maybe than everyone else, simply because I'm competitive sometimes. So yeah, it did make me more competitive for sure, and maybe a little harsh on myself, I would say, decent amount. Yeah.
What would you Don't start up. Yeah. What do you explain like the whole study craze in your country?
So the main thing is cram school. I don't know if you know what cram school is, but cram school is basically the tutorial out of school. So it's very, very common. Like even like those tutors at tutorial centers, they get really famous and really rich. Like you can see their advertisements everywhere. It's like a huge, huge thing. And it's like if you have never been to a tutorial center, you're the weirdo. Like that's what I would say about it. So it's extra school. So it's pretty hectic because like we already have 8 to 3. And then normally you would have tutorials. For example, if you're lucky enough, you're just going to take 3 subjects, and then it would be 3 extra hours already, and then it'll be till 6. So it's like 8 to 6, like study, 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 study. And then you still have homeworks, projects, tests, exams, and you have to study a lot. So it's really crazy about studying back there. It's really different from here. Like, I think I think I can't compare it because like I was in high school and I was like a freshman. So like a lot of freshman classes, there are like multiple choice exams. But back there, I've never had a multiple choice exam. Like never in my life before I came to the US college have I ever had a multiple choice exam. They're all like comprehensive and written. But I think I can't compare it because since that's high school and now it's like freshman year in college. So I guess it's different. But it's very obvious like how much people value about their studies is very different as well. So yeah, it's pretty crazy back there. But I think that's why people think that Asians are smart, because like we're really crazy about our studies. So yeah, I would say it's not definitely a bad thing, but sometimes I really appreciate how like foreigners can be like so they're not that focused on studies. They focus on a lot of other things like connections, going to social events and stuff. So I went kind of off topic, but yeah. Yeah, so it's different. Yeah, that's all I would say.
How do you think like the whole educational competition like shaped like the adolescents or people like students your age there?
I think it made them more stressful for sure, and it kind of made them like locked in their world, thinking because like you're brainwashed every day that you have to get that certain score in your exams. You have to get that and that in order to be like successful. So, and like for example, like oh, if you want to be a doctor, you have to get that certain grade, and then you have to be a doctor, and then you'll be successful. It's kind of like a very fixed mindset, I would say, and like I think it affected them in terms of like really long term. For example, some people they would like even believe that oh if you study philosophy you're doomed. Like you're not going to go anywhere in life. Like studying arts and like literature and stuff are not really favorable from where I came from. But here people like they really have their different passions, and it really kind of like, and I think it's also about like schools encouraging you as well. Like some schools they focus on oh you have to be a lawyer or doctor in order to be rich, or like even in dramas like it's often conveyed that we have to be a lawyer or doctor to be rich, but that's not the case. Like there's so many people that can be rich like in other ways as well, but they don't encourage that in our education system. So it kind of like made like teenagers have a very fixed mindset, and a lot of times it's sometimes even like made them